Hey guys, welcome to the I Am Python YouTube channel. In this series of videos, we are going to discuss about learning Python 2021, and we are going to get in details of each and every topic. Okay, let's get into it. Why we need to learn Python, why it is so popular, right? That's a question. If you can see some statistics which is taken from the different websites, the world most popular websites, where they are going to take the data from for the programming languages. So one is the TYOB index, which we can see that Python it is actually increased that ranking from years. If you look at the 1996, it is into 13th position, 2001 23rd position. Now 2021 it got into the third position in this TYOB index. If you look at the PYPL, popularity of the programming language index, this survey is saying that in this January 2021 the Python is in the first rank, right? So it is going to tell us like, okay, Python is getting so much of popularity in above all programming languages, and we'll see in the next slides why it is more popular and what basis. We'll get more. See, we are looking at the Python history, and Python was created in the late 1980s and first released in the 1991 by Gerard van Rossum. He is the Dutch programmer. The implementation of the Python was started in the December 1989. Okay, and the Python 2 was released in 2000, and Python 3 was released in 2008. Okay, and which is the Python is very simple and high level and general purpose programming language, right? And Python follows the one of the poem called The Gen of Python, which is a collection of 19 guiding principles of writing computer programs that influence the design of the Python programming language. Okay, and if you want to see this Gen of Python content in the programming code, you have to use the command called import this, then you will get all the list of 18 guidelines. So you can see on my screen there is a 5 guidelines is displayed: the beautiful, explicit, simple, complex, and readability. That means beautiful is better than ugly, explicit is better than implicit, simple is better than complex. It is a poem of the Python generally. Okay, to get this information you have to use the command called python space -m. Okay, and there are so many Python released versions, and as you know that the Python 2 and Python was not available, and Python 3 is available for the applications development, and the latest version of the Python is Python 3.9, which was released in the October 2020, and the next Python version is going to be released in this year, and that is October 2021. Okay, and in this entire series of videos we are going to see the programming in the 3.9. Also we are going to discuss about the differences between the 3.7, 3.8 and 3.9. Okay, and there are so many features of the Python, but we are going to list a few of them here. And first most important thing is Python is free and open source, and we can download from their official website. And Python is having the large standard libraries. There are so many libraries we have it, and I can say that after JavaScript the Python has a huge source of libraries. Python actually it is a supports the cross-platform language, so that means it supports uh, like Mac OS and Windows, and also it supports the Unix, Linux operating systems. Python is interpreted language. We're going to discuss in detail in the upcoming sessions. And Python supports object-oriented programming. Yeah, we can also use the classes inheritance, polymorphism, and abstraction encapsulations. All these features is going to be supported in this Python. And also Python supports procedure oriented language, and you can write only functions in your code, and also you can write only classes. It could be possible. And as I said, like, it supports cross platform and open source, right? We can use Python in Linux, we can use in Windows, and also Unix and Linux, okay, and Mac OS. Okay, Python is so flexible. We can integrate it with other programming languages like C and Ruby, Java, and .NET by using C Python, Ruby Python, Java Python, and Iron Python. And Python has the huge libraries. And as on today date, Python has the 282,000 projects. And Python is using in the many big MNCs like Instagram, Facebook, Dropbox, Google, Uber, Amazon, SurveyMonkey, and Firefox. There are many companies. And just for your information, Instagram is actually built on Python, and Dropbox is having the almost 4 lakhs lines of code is written in the Python only. Okay, Netflix uses the recommendation system. That's where like they use the machine learning and AI. That is actually written in the Python programming language. Okay, so it's just giving an idea the what are the companies are using the Python widely in their product development or services providing. Okay, moving to the Python technology stack. So there is a big question comes in our mind: where should I use Python? After once I learn the Python, where should I use? That's most important thing comes in our mind. So we can use Python in the data science and big data, and we can use Python programming for the web technologies and also for artificial intelligence. We can use Python programming in augmented reality and DevOps, blockchain, Internet of Things, Python automation, virtual reality, 5G, cloud computing, and even in the ethical hacking. So many sources are there, many places we can use Python programming language. It depends on your experiences and background where you come through, and which area you want to be selected. I mean, you want to select it basically, right? If I assume that you're from the data background, so just think it's better to focus on the data science. Okay, just giving an idea. Okay, these are the different technology stack where I can use Python. And come to the technical part. So where should I use? Now here we are talking about IDE for Python. Like, so what are the IDEs we are going to use to write a Python code? So we have the multiple IDEs and text editors. You can see Pycharm, Jupyter, Vscode, and Sublime, Spider, Atom, PyDev. These are all the different Python integrated development environment and um, tools, text editor tools. You can say that the Python itself has its own IDE. Name is called Python IDLE, which comes through the Python software itself once you install it. And there are two versions. Majorly people talk Python 2 and Python 3, but there is no more Python 2 in the sense. So we are not, Python 2 is not supported. Actually, Python has stopped it. Python organization said that Python 2 support was not yet got decommissioned. And Python software, so you can get it from the Python software official website. Name is called python.org, and you can also get the Python libraries from the pypi.org. And to check the Python version once it is installed, and there is a command called python space hyphen hyphen version. Okay, so it is depends on like And here in this entire sessions, we are going to use the Vscode, and also some sessions I will try to use the Pycharm and other tools to show you that how to execute the code in the various tools. And to run the Python file, we have a command called python space file name.py. Okay, so that's where we can execute the Python, and there are so many VS Code extensions to work on it. We'll show you once we get into the topic. So this website is the official website of Python, and the URL name is the python.org. And if you look at this, you'll get the software under the downloads and documentation under the documentation part, and there is a community where you can connect with community as well. Okay, even the events and the news and everything. And in downloads, if you want to download the Python version, and we have to go to this, and you are very specific to your operating system. Select which operating system you are using, whether it is Windows, Mac OS, or any other platforms, which we can see it. And also you are very specific to any download, in the sense any version of the Python. Then you just click on the view full of downloads, then we'll get to this. Okay, so maybe when you're working on any project, the project is specific to any particular version, you can try to download from here in this location. Okay, and just part of learning, just go and download the latest version. So that's like 3.9.1. So once you download it and you start installing it, so installing is just like you can proceed with the next. And when you are installing it, it will ask you that can I add the path. So you say that you select that checkbox, add to path, it will be selected. Okay, so that's where we can get this software and install it. And now also you are going to be, now we are going to see that installing the Visual Studio Code. So just go and type VS Code, and you will direct it. You will see that results of Visual Studio Code website. Just click on it. It is a Visual Studio Code website. You just download the Visual Studio Code. So what is this? This is a code editor where we are going to write our Python code. Okay, and which is available for Mac, Windows, Linux. You just download it. Okay, and also we are going to use the code in the Pycharm. So Pycharm is also IDE. So in this here, these IDEs come through with the two different versions. Let me show you. So that means the Pycharm is actually with the two editions. One is the professional edition, another one is the community edition. So the professional edition is, which is I think it's for 1 month free trial, which is going to be expired. After that, you have to pay money and get this software. But the community edition, which is free, we can directly download and use it. And it is available for Windows, Mac, even Mac, Apple Silicon also it is available, and Linux also it is there. Okay, so you need to select which operating system you are using it and download it. Okay, so that's where. So Pycharm, Vscode, these two are very important tools. Okay, so we are going to use this Vscode for the beginning, and also we can use the Pycharm later. Yeah. Okay, how it's going to be used. So since I already have this Vscode in my system, I'm going to open and show you, and I'm going to search this in my local. So opening this Vscode. So this is the Okay, this is the Vscode. Hey, this is the Vscode. Here you can see that this is the welcome page. This Vscode, Visual Studio Code, which is also supports JavaScript, Python, Java, PHP, Azure, Docker, and many more tools and languages. Okay, that we can see later. So simple, you can just close this and you can create a folder, or you can go and create a folder or new window, whatever you can do it, but just open the folder and select any one of the folder which you want to do it. So I'm just creating the folder here, say that Python and 2021. Okay, just create a folder, open the folder. So click on open, and again you see this welcome. But basically what we have done, right, we have created some folder in our local and pointing to the, and basically we are pointing to that workspace. Okay, so what I'm going to do, right, I'm going to use the command called welcome.py. Okay, you just enter, and in this just write print of hello. This is the command. Just execute this. On top of this there is a button, you just click on it, you get the output is hello. Okay, it's a print statement of hello, you'll get the output is hello. So what you are observing here, the file name is the .py extension, and to print output we are using the print, and there is parenthesis inside that. We have just said that hello, then the hello is got printed. So when you install the Python, and also you will get something called IDE. So if you can see, there is a 3 versions of IDLEs are there, because I am using multiple Python versions. So I'm going to open the latest version, that is a Python 3.9. If you look at this Python 3.9, so this is a shell. Another name is called IDLE. So we can also say it is a Python shell. So if you want to execute the same code, say that print, you just type print hello and enter. You'll see the output is hello. So what I mean to say that, so if you're learning the Python, better you can use this. And if you're uh, using the VS Code, okay, and it is for the projects and all, right, you can use it. Now if you want to check the Python version after installation, so I will show you now how to do it. Just open the command prompt or terminal. Okay, just open it, the terminal, and you use the command called python space ---- version. See, I got the very old version of the Python, since I have the 2 major versions, that is the 2 and 3, Python 2 and 3. So if when you have the 2 major versions, so when you say python ---- version, you'll get this, pointing to this one. Now what I'm going to do, right, I will use python 3 space ---- version. I'll get the latest version which is pointed to the Python 3, that is 3.9.0, right? So that's where like we can see the versions here. And also along with the Python, we can also get something called pip. It's like Python packaging index. So it is going to be used to install the third-party libraries into your project. Let's say this one. And you can see if I go and enter, you get the version name, but this is associated with 2.7. So if I want to, the pip which is associated in the sense which is linked with the latest version, so pip 3 ---- version, that's where like you can see it is pointing to the Python 3.9. Okay, so this pip is actually there with the Python software. So basically what I'm telling that this 3.9 Python shell and this pip, this both which is come through the Python software itself. Okay, And okay, so we are going to start programming in the next video. I'll explain in detail about variables and data types. Okay, thanks for watching this video.